All right, so I did want to talk a little bit about determining relative relatedness, or rather, determining who's more related. Okay, and so I wanted to use some of these cladograms that were in earlier in the PowerPoint, and this is just sort of an overview to help you understand if you were having a little bit of trouble with that. And so we did this tracing sort of exercise to show what traits a species has, right? We can again use that type of tracing mentality with, make that a little bit opaque, determining the relative relatedness. So let's say I'm looking at this cladogram and I want to know, compared to a human, who is more related, a lynx or a newt? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I should have changed the color. Let me try that again. All right, so I'm going to switch that to like a blue so it's a lot more recognizable. So let's look at the relationship between lynx and human. I'm going to use the red for that. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is the human node, and this is the lynx node, and I'm going to draw to their common ancestor. Okay, so this is the lynx human. I'm going to do abbreviate CA for common ancestor. Okay, now remember, because it's not actually in here and I've got to make a green. Just going to draw a big arrow here. This is time. So this is the beginning of all time, and your greatest common ancestor is here. Okay, so your time's going in this direction. Humans are the most recently evolved. So this is the lynx human common ancestor. Now let's take that blue. All right, so here's the newt node, and yes, here's the human node again. I'm going to make a different layer just so I don't draw too badly over it. All right, human and newt. So this is the newt human common ancestor, right? So as we mentioned in the PowerPoint, we know that the most recent common ancestor indicates more relatedness. So based on the fact that this is time, well, I guess I should circle that in red, the lynx and the humans are more related because they have the most recent common ancestor. So this could be, I don't know, 15 million years ago, and maybe this was like 50 million years ago. Don't quote me on that. I'm just making some numbers up to give you, because sometimes it's hard to just with random relativeness, but I'll give you some numbers here. That is a closer relationship here between the lynx and the human than it is between the newt and the human. Okay. Even if I'm going to use a different one because a lot of them here. Even if there is two of them next to each other, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Even if we're like, okay, who's more related, the newt and the sunfish? That's a interesting color. The newt and the sunfish, or the newt and the lizard. And you're like, well, they're right next to each other. How can I tell? Same thing. So remember time. Oh my goodness. Oh no. No. I'm having a hard time drawing the diagonal here. All right, so we've got time going in this direction. All right, here's our greatest common ancestor. And we're going to do the same thing we did. So I'm going to grab this sunfish color. It's a little bit more opaque. And we're going to, the diagonals are kind of killing me here. All right, and then we're going to draw down to the newt. We got to find their most recent ancestor. So this is the most recent ancestor that the sunfish and the newt have in common. All right, and then we're going to take the blue for the lizard. All right, we got to find the lizard. And find the newt. All right, and we're going to go back until he hits that node. Boom. So this is, I'm going to abbreviate NL for the newt lizard common ancestor. I need to make that a smaller brush because this is running out of space. All right. And then we've got the sunfish newt common ancestor here. Now, take a moment, just a moment. Which one is the newt more related to? Think about it. We write your answer down. All right, if you said the lizard, you are correct, and here's why. The most recent ancestor, remember, time-wise, I need to switch over to the blue, is this one here. So the most recent common ancestor is what determines it. Not space-wise this way, no. It's whose ancestor is more recent. So again, this could be, 10 million years ago. Maybe this was 20 million years ago. But time's going in this direction. And so we look for the most recent common ancestor. So that's how we know the newt and the lizard are more related. Okay. That's pretty much all I had on just giving a little extra lesson on relatedness. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can always email me, a comment, I guess. I don't know how YouTube works. It's just where I'm putting the videos. But let me know if you have questions. If you want me to explain something else in more detail, you know where to find me.